Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 3 Create a World video. So this is episode 16 and we're here in Plymouth Isle, of course, making the art gallery. So if you haven't seen any of these videos before in this series, I'm creating a world from scratch called Plymouth Isle, and you can see a playlist on my channel, and yeah, you can see the whole create a world process, and right now I'm working on all the community lots. So this is on lot number 30 in Plymouth Isle. So if you want to download this, which you can, there's a link in the description below, and place it in your own version of Plymouth Isle, you can do so, and you can put it on lot 30 if you so want. Or so choose, I guess, because so want doesn't really make sense. Anyway, well, it makes sense, but it's incorrect English. Anyway, so this is the art gallery, and this is a really weird sized lot. This is a 51 by I don't even know, 20 or something. It's like really long and narrow. There's actually two of these lots, this lot and then the one on the other side of City Hall are the same size, and I actually use this same exact building. I just kind of saved it to my library and placed it down to make the library, which will be the next episode after this one. So you can look forward to that. So I kind of wanted these buildings on either side of City Hall to kind of match, because I felt like City Hall was too large and by itself. Like, it's a very tall building, and just kind of being by itself looked a little strange. So I thought, why not make some other tall buildings to go on either side of it. So I did make this building pretty tall. It has a pretty tall tower, and it's basically I used constrained floor elevation, and you'll see that later on. Initially, I actually make this kind of more classical, more like Greek or Roman styled, with like the columns, and you'll kind of see like the main central part. And I just wasn't a fan of it because it didn't look right. Especially like on this island, I felt like it probably wouldn't have something like this. Wow, great start there. I felt like there probably wouldn't be something like this on the island, so I thought, why not kind of make it match the City Hall more? So that's what I ended up doing in the end. So you'll see that as we progress along, that I kind of will change the style of it. So yeah, initially I was kind of going for this, I guess more classical look and feel. So it is going to end up being symmetrical as it is now. So that doesn't change. This pretty much is symmetrical on the outside, and then also like the front and back are the same. So yeah, actually no, that's not true. On the final one, the front and back aren't the same, but on this initial one that I'm working on right here, they are, because just the style I was going for, and then I changed my mind. Yeah, it actually does take me quite some time to get the design down for the building, and even in the end, I feel like it's, I think, a little large, because it was a little difficult to fill like all the space inside, because, well, I mean, frankly, it's just a colossal building. So yeah, oh well, it's fine. So yeah, here you can see I'm working on the roof still. It's, not anything that exciting, but I was just trying to keep it in that classical style that I end up not keeping. But as you can see, it really doesn't match the City Hall, at least in this current state. It just looks a little out of place. It does look good. I like it, but not really in this context. I just felt like it was just kind of going in the wrong direction. So I ended up kind of bringing a little bit more toward the direction of the City Hall. And yeah, and in the end, this is a very large art museum or art gallery. I don't know why in the game it's called an art gallery and not museum, but in the end, it's quite large. It has 3 stories, and then plus that massive tower, which the tower is about 3.5 stories tall by itself. And the way that I'm going to do that to make the building overall, I guess it's like 6.5 stories, is by using constrained floor elevation. So you'll see it when we get to it, but I'm going to kind of raise up the terrain in the center and then kind of drag, like make a giant spire of terrain and kind of drag from there, and to make the walls on the top taller than they normally would be. So like the whole tower will be one level, but it will be a very tall level essentially, because that's kind of the way to get around the limit in The Sims 3 of only having 5 levels. So yeah, anyway, here I'm still doing this like different style. I'm still working toward that, but I think fairly soon, like in a minute or so, I'm going to start changing it up a bit, and then we'll get moving on toward what the building will actually like in the end. I mean, I don't actually change the shape of the building too much. It's just more like the roof changes a lot, and like all the columns, all the classical columns go away because, yeah, it just wasn't working out quite so well. But anyway, right now I'm just making these like little bits here that go on either side of the kind of main staircase here. So it's like these kind of little taller bits. I don't know if it's a technical term for them, but they're there, and just use a bit of constrained floor elevation to get them in, and just putting in some details on the wall here. So there's a retaining wall that kind of runs around the entire lot because I raise it up a bit. So it's like 4 steps up and then 4 more steps up onto the like front porch entrance area, so the building sits up a little bit higher. I did the same thing with City Hall pretty much. I think it's about the same height above the ground. So yeah, you just kind of have like those retaining walls that kind of go around. I think it kind of makes it look a little bit classier in a way. It looks a little bit more majestic perhaps. And here, just putting in some windows. I don't keep these windows. I keep maybe some of them, but the vast majority of them I do change out because, yeah, they didn't quite fit in too well. So anyway, I think we're pretty much at the stage. Yeah, we're at the stage now where we're going to change it up quite a bit. So you can see here, I'm just removing the roof there and the friezes. So I'm going to be adding in a tower soon too, but also getting rid of all the columns as well because, yeah, I just didn't think it fit in all too well. So that's what's happening here. So just deleting the front bit there, making a tower. Here we go. So here's where I raise up that terrain quite a bit, and then kind of click and drag across to get the walls to be, there we go. Make the walls much taller. And I think I lower it down a little bit from where I put it initially because I think I went a little bit too tall right off the bat because, yeah, it's just, I got a little carried away, but, it's fine. I just kind of wanted it to match the main tower of City Hall in a way because I felt like that would kind of work nicely together. And right here, I'm going to actually lower it down a bit. I think I don't actually keep it that way initially. No, I don't. But I will do that in the end. So here oh yeah, the roof got all messed up, so I had to fix that. But yeah, so this is actually pretty much the final shape of the building. I'm going to go through and remove the columns, which I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to kind of, make those square off like those edges so they don't have like the indents for the columns. I do keep a couple, but I actually use these interesting columns from the store. I'm not sure what set they're from, but I do like them. They're pretty interesting. And here for the roof, I'm kind of mimicking the roof that's on City Hall. So it kind of has like this, like it's not as steep, and then it gets steeper as it goes in. Like there's this second tier there you can kind of see. And then I'm also going to change the color. I don't keep it green because it didn't go so well with the red roof of City Hall. It would be nice if there was like a roof that matched that red. I think that would kind of be cool, but there just isn't. So I ended up going with gray in the end because I felt like it was just kind of neutral. And then because both buildings on either side of City Hall will be pretty much the same from the outside, it kind of works better with the red. Anyway, here I'm putting in these chimneys. I had to, again, make them super tall, so they're a lot taller than normal wall height because a normal wall would not show up above the roof line because the roof is very steep. So yeah, and here I'm just lowering them down to the correct height. But pretty much everything that's on what would be the fourth floor is just for show. There's not really anything up there, and there's just 3 actual levels in the building. So I had to figure out what to do with this tower because I couldn't put windows on it just because of the way that it works, because like that's all considered one wall, like one wall segment. So you can't like stack windows on top of each other in The Sims 3. So I had to just figure out what would work the best. Those are those columns I was talking about that I just put there on either side of the front door. I thought that they were pretty interesting. I'm not sure where they're from. They're from some pack. I'm not really sure where. It's definitely a store thing, I'm pretty certain. But, it's kind of interesting. And here I'm expanding out the back, and I will use more of those columns on the inside as well. kind of carry that on as a theme. And yeah, so just kind of expanding on the roof there, and I'm going to add more of those columns in. So there you go. And I'm going to correct the other side of the building and the back too, so they all kind of match and match the front. So yeah, here we go. Now we're pretty much heading in to how the building will look in the end. Here I'm trying to figure out a good roof color because, again, there's nothing that matches. So that's the gray I went with in the end. And yeah, I think this is what the building ends up looking like. I'm going to get this stone, like these kind of stone bricks that are from World Adventures. They're supposed to be like for the Egypt world, but when you color them right, they actually match the stone of the City Hall pretty well. So again, I was trying to kind of make them not like match exactly, but kind of have like this similar theme, if you will. So that's what I was going for there. And here I'm just doing some stuff, not exactly sure what, but definitely doing things and stuff. Changing the roof color again. Wasn't satisfied, I guess, but then it's back to gray. And here, here's where I lower the tower down a little bit because it was a little bit excessive. It still is perhaps a touch excessive. I think that the whole building and like also the whole library are both a little excessive for an island of this size if you're thinking about it realistically. But I kind of imagined that these buildings were perhaps served different purposes originally than like an art gallery and a library. Like maybe, one of them was like the, I don't know, one was like originally a hotel, maybe. That could be interesting. It also could be cool. Oh, that would have been good if I like had one of them as a hotel, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like one could have originally been like a hotel or like the mayor's mansion or something, or like some government building, and then later on they were changed into their current purpose. So that's why like the buildings are so large and grand. And yeah, that was kind of the idea behind it, I suppose, or the justification I had for making these buildings the way I did. And here I'm kind of working on some more windows and stuff, and I'm trying to, here's where I didn't really know what to do with the giant empty space there. And what I end up doing is just kind of using the wallpaper to kind of make it look a little bit more interesting because I couldn't put windows up there. So it looks a touch strange. It's kind of like a tower for tower's sake. Like there's no clock or no bell or no anything in it. So yeah, it's just the way it is. I couldn't really do anything about that. You can't even like raise items up on the wall above the height of the windows there. It didn't let me. So I just kind of had to accept it as the way it was. But I did use these windows. Wow, my voice keeps just like betraying me on these voiceovers. Those windows are from Showtime, actually, and also some of these windows are from the store, and some of them are from Ambitions. And I did use some from Showtime. Some are from Supernatural, but the Showtime ones are supposed to be more modern, I think, but they work pretty well with this style of building. And here I'm just getting in some windows on the third floor there, so just kind of getting some smaller windows that go across the top, and changing all the wood color on the windows. I actually changed them to a different color later on, which was great because it meant I had to go back and change it all. Probably why this video is so long, but yeah. So essentially, just putting the stone everywhere. I did kind of use these more worn edges, so you can see there's like these corner pieces that kind of have these worn edges on them. So I put those in too because it kind of made it look more weathered and old, because I imagine that this would probably be a pretty old building. So that was kind of the idea behind it. And here I'm putting in some more windows, so kind of figuring out how I wanted the windows to go. I don't think I leave it exactly like this. I think I bring those down, but we have like these nice arched windows and like some different types of windows, mixing it up a little bit. And I also get in this kind of wooden material to go on the wall there. It's kind of like, I don't really know what it is exactly, but well, it's like paneling, I guess. And it kind of has like this trim around it. And I made it kind of white or like off-white. And I just used it as an accent to the stone, so I kind of put that around. And that's what I put on the tower to kind of make it look a little bit less bland, because right now it's just a giant stone block. So there you go. That's what I ended up doing. I kind of put that on there, and it kind of makes the windows, like it carries your eye up and kind of extends up, above the windows there. So I thought that worked pretty well. So yeah, anyway, here I'm just doing some more things, some more paint on the walls here, some more windows. basically. So some windows on these end bits, and also doing the chimneys, some windows down the side here. A lot of windows on this building. It's a huge, it's like, it's hard, it doesn't look as big as it is until you actually like see it in game and like look at the inside of it. It is a huge building, and when you think about how large each floor is and then like see, oh wait, there's 3 of them. Yeah, it's a bit perhaps overkill, but it's what happened. So, I just wanted something that kind of went along with the size and scale of City Hall, and I kind of didn't realize it was going to end up being quite so large, but yeah, it ended up being very large indeed. So here I'm just changing all the colors of the windows and stuff because I didn't like the light color. I thought it didn't look quite right, and here I am changing the color of all the trim pieces around on the walls and stuff, so all that matches as well. And yeah, just gonna do that, and then I think fairly soon-ish, perhaps, maybe, we'll move on to landscaping and then the interior. Been spending a lot of time on the exterior of this building, but gotta get it right, and putting in some windows around, or not putting in windows, but changing the colors of windows, changing the colors of the siding, and all that kind of stuff. Haven't even gotten to the back of the building yet, still have that to do, so changing the colors of those windows. And I think that about wraps it up for changing window colors. So we can do a little bit more here with, actually we can do the little railing out front there and the stone wall that goes around the building as well. And some more columns around the back. So those nice large columns. I thought they were kind of interesting. Don't know what style they are technically. It's kind of like this fantasy thing. I think they're actually called like fantasy column. But I thought that they looked kind of interesting and they didn't look too wrong with this building, so I thought, why not? Anyway, we're going to do more windows now around the back, of course, because the entire back of the building doesn't have any windows yet, so doing that, and also getting in some back doors as well, and some more windows, so there you go. And basically mirroring the front for the most part. I mean, it is different, it's not exactly the same, because the back doors are on either side, and there's like this larger central area, but for the most part, it's still pretty similar. And as for the layout, I end up putting 2 staircases here and then like one that goes around the other way. So you kind of have like this fancy main entrance, and then I'm going to put a couple bathrooms there behind the stairs, and then like these ticket counters that are kind of go on either side. So like where your Sims could buy the tickets to see the art gallery or art museum or whatever. So, doing that, trying to figure out the best way to do that. So just putting in a couple on either side, and I'll put in like some ropes. I do some roped fencing around some of like the artwork stuff, and also kind of around the entrance there. I also used the columns on the inside as well. So pretty large columns there to kind of match the outside, and also kind of carried them all the way up as well. So yeah, I think we're gonna, actually more exterior paint to do. So kind of, again, doing that to make it match the front of the building. So putting all the stone everywhere and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's exciting doing more of that. I can't believe we're almost 20 minutes into this video and I'm still haven't really gotten to the inside yet, or landscaping. It's just building this massive structure. It's quite a structure. Yeah, so doing that, putting in some more around the place, some more around the back there, some more stone. Not much to say about the stone really, other than that it's stone. So yeah, it's exciting. More actually, there's wooden paneling now, and some wooden paneling there on the tower as well, so it all kind of looks more interesting. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for the actual exterior structure, I would hope, because I think we're going to be moving on to something a little bit more interesting soon. So yeah, there's some windows. That's cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So we can do I think maybe landscaping. I'm not entirely sure what I do in what order, but I had to lower these down a little bit because they were a bit too tall still. So those are the chimneys, and there will actually be fireplaces as well. There'll be one on either side. So the chimneys are not just there for show. They actually technically serve a function. Here I'm putting them in, going all the way down to the first floor. So yes, there you go. And there's the fireplaces. There it is. And there's the other one. So 2 fireplaces, 2 chimneys, all works out pretty good. So yeah, anyway, that's that part. And we can now do some stone that goes on the front porch there, or the front entrance thing, and some stone there, and some stone around the back, by the back door there. or the back doors, I guess, because there's two of them, and recoloring the stairs and doing a little bit of terrain paint stuff. So like the building actually connects to the road. And yeah, I think we're going to probably hopefully move on to some landscaping. I believe that I do the landscaping before I do the interior. I think the interior comes last, and then of course there'll be some screenshots once we're done building, so you can stick around for those. And yeah, so I'm just doing some outside lighting here, so just some lights around the front and around the back as well, so at night it's not like super dark or anything. It looks nice. So there you go, looking at it at night there. And yeah, so that I think almost does it for outside lighting. Yeah, I think so. So here we're gonna move on to landscaping. So I really like that tree. That's from, I think it's from Aurora Skies. I think I also used it on the City Hall lot as well. I think it's really nice. I think it's very different from other trees in the game, so I kind of put it there on that corner to make it look a bit more interesting. And yeah, lots of trees on this lot here. I do landscape the library lot differently, so that will be the next episode, of course, like I said. So that one, it's not just a complete carbon copy. I mean, the outside of the building is, but the inside of the building is different, and the landscaping is different on that one. So you can see here, doing the landscaping on the art gallery, though, and putting in some bushes, lots of bushes, basically all the usual stuff that I put on my houses and community lots, all my same bushes that I like to use. So a few base game things, there's a few store content things that I've been using. So like some of the flowers I think are from Aurora Skies, and I think actually that's it, just that one item. Like the little yellowish flowers, I do like them though. They kind of like it's like a subtle pop of color, you know. It's not like too much. It's kind of like a nice little detail. And anyway, here doing some dirt terrain paint, of course. You know, as usual, always good to have that. So kind of just painting up around underside the wall there, just so you know it's not like grass going straight up to the wall. I kind of like to have a little bit of dirt there because I feel like it makes it look just a bit more realistic. And then of course the dirt under all the plants. So I'm just doing that right now. You know, getting in just the terrain paint stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for landscaping pretty much. And now we're gonna move on to the interior. So yeah, it took us a while to get here, but now we're doing the inside, and we have I think actually perfectly symmetrical on every floor. So yeah, every floor is symmetrical, but slightly different. So you can see the different galleries that I'm putting in right now. I think there's, I don't know how many galleries there are, a bunch of them, a bunch of different rooms filled with art. It was also a little bit difficult to find enough art, like pictures or like paintings and sculptures to fill this whole building. So it does look a little bit empty in the end, but there really wasn't many more items that I could use because it's just the game doesn't have that many items to fill a building this huge. So that wasn't too ideal, but you know, it works out okay in the end. And I don't think it needs to be like overcrowded. I think that's kind of not the way museums should be. So, you know, or the way museums are. So it's, you know, a little bit more minimalistic, I guess, but you'll see what I mean as we get into doing that part of it. But for right now, I'm just doing some railings and stuff in the main entrance areas or the main landing areas there on the second floor, getting in some, you know, just some railings. And I'm also going to, oh yeah, I opened up, I don't know why, but I put some stairs that go up to this, like the fourth floor tower, even though it serves absolutely no purpose. There are stairs that go up there, so your Sims can definitely go there if they so want to. So yeah, that's there. And yeah, it's just a big tower though. You can see it's like a big giant empty shell basically, but you know, it's fine. And there's the two counters in the kind of main lobby area where your Sims would buy tickets if they actually did that in the game, but they don't. But you know, we can imagine that, you know, there'd be someone standing back there selling the ticket to get in. And here I'm just putting in some ropes just in the various galleries to make it look like, ooh, your Sims can't get too close to these pieces of art, you know, gotta rope it off. So putting in some ropes, and also I'm gonna get in a nice kind of tile flooring here in the entrance, kind of like this nice marble, not really marble, but it's nice, like this nice stone flooring that goes in the entranceway and that back room there. And the rest of it has this kind of nice wood flooring, which you'll see. So just kind of putting in this nice parquet, and you know, I'm also going to do some nice details kind of around the outside of the flooring there. So there'll be I don't know what this is called exactly. I just call it a detail, but there it is. It's kind of like nice decorative pattern that kind of goes around the outside of the room, kind of outlines it. I think it looks pretty cool, so I do that in quite a few of the rooms actually. I've done this in some of my houses too. I think it kind of just adds a nice bit of detail to like the rooms and stuff. It makes it look a little bit less bland. So I do that and I kind of put that around. So doing that around here, those rooms, I don't think I do it in the outermost rooms, but I do maybe put it upstairs. Yeah, I do. I do this upstairs room, so, or really it's the upstairs landing and also these rooms too, I guess. So there you go. Yeah, it kind of adds this nice bit of extra decoration there. And then, oh, actually I did these rooms too. Wow, I really went to town on putting in these decorative flooring pieces, but there you go. Putting them in the other galleries upstairs as well. So yeah, looks nice. Looks very, very fancy. So putting that in, and also this room too, I guess. Wow, okay. And over here, I don't remember doing this many rooms, but there you go. And upstairs, I don't think I did it at all. It's just the third floor is just all the normal parquet. So anyway, here we're going to get in a nice wall material there. So putting that in and changing up the color. So we'll get, I think it's just kind of a neutral color there. So kind of like this grayish color, I guess. It looks classy. And we're going to put in I think I just put in some pieces or some sculptures that I found just at this point, but of course I'm going to add way more. This is just kind of an initial placement of stuff, but oh yeah, also that guy's a bit creepy, but why not? It's like supposed to go, I think, in a graveyard or something, but anyways, also this fish sculpture I put in the stairwell that kind of goes above. It's like multiple stories tall. I also put this other sculpture out front too, because I thought, there you go. It makes it look like a public artwork or something that would show that it's an art museum. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much just putting in a bunch of different sculptures throughout the different rooms. Of course, I will add way more than my initial pass, but just as I was finding things, I was like, yeah, this will work good here, this will work good there. Put this here, put this there, kind of just fill it out a bit. So yeah, finding different items that that can fit in. Again, my voice not helping me out here. Yeah, so here I'm doing the main entranceway. So I kind of put this chandelier on the lower level, and then because there's no ceiling there, I put this chain that came, I think, from the Now and Then Century Manor set on the store. So that kind of makes it look good to have like the light down that far. So I kind of like to do that with tall ceiling or spaces with tall ceilings. And here I'm just finding some other light fixtures that will work well. I think I use these World Adventures ones once I find them. Or there it is, changing the color of it. And yeah, they look pretty nice. I'm putting them throughout the whole building. I will probably do that. Also some wall lights as well, some sconces, because yeah, I felt like some of the rooms were a bit dark, so I wanted to, make sure that everything looked nice and bright. And here I'm kind of changing up the colors of the columns and stuff, making them match the trim on like all the doors and archways and things and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, right now, doing the stairs as well, getting in these nice kind of wood color on the stairs that matches the flooring. I don't know if it matches the flooring. It might match the rest of the trim and stuff. Anyway, changing the color of the statue here, or the sculpture. It's not really a statue. And yeah, I think we're going to put in some more details in here. So there's like the kind of like rope thing. So it's like, hey, line up here, don't get all rowdy. So that's there. And also some curtains here in the entrance. I don't put curtains throughout the whole building, but I just put them kind of in the main entrance area here. So kind of changing up the color there, getting a nice kind of greenish color. And oh yeah, also we'll get to the bathrooms soon. I thought we were going to do it at that moment, but I was wrong. Doing some plants in the corners, and also some like nice entranceway things that go on either side of the door there, so it looks fancy with some lamps. Look at that, that's pretty cool. And I'm also maybe going to put a rug in, we'll see. And yeah, there it is. So that looks pretty nice. It's a very fancy entranceway that way. So putting that in, also some more rugs there and everywhere, not really. And here we're doing some more wall decorations, just like some wood trim there on the fireplace pieces. And oh yeah, now we're going to do the bathroom. So there's 4 bathrooms in this building. So there's a set down here, also a set on the 3rd floor, so you'll see that. But yeah, pretty much just getting in the colors here, they're basically the same bathrooms. There's just, just all the same as you'd probably expect. But yeah, public bathrooms, how exciting. So putting those in, and yeah, there you go. Amazing. And also the ones on the third floor as well, because they are there. So yes, your Sims can come here and use the bathroom if they want to, because there's bathrooms here. That's exciting. So these are the third floor bathrooms. They're green, which is cool. Looks a little bit more dated and older. It's an old building, And also some more columns there, because why not? And what else? Some more lighting. Up here on the third floor there, also some lights, more ceiling lights, putting the lights actually throughout the whole building, so it's not like dark at night, because that's not so great. So, or during the day actually, because yeah, sometimes I've noticed that like the windows, like when you have the window facing one way, there's no light comes in, but then if like you flip it around, then the light will come in, and I don't know why it's like that. It's kind of weird. So you kind of have to make sure that you put the windows in the correct way around, because otherwise like the light won't come in. So I've been trying to be kind of aware of that, so that, the rooms get like some natural light in them too, besides just the, artificial light. But anyway, we're in the last stretch here of furnishing. So I'm going to be putting in, or I say furnishing, but, putting in all the art pieces in the building. So we're putting in basically all the stuff that your Sims will come here to look at. So this is, there's no real theme to the museum at all. It's kind of all a little bit random, just kind of whatever I could find. I also put in a bunch of these seats here and just kind of throughout the building, just so, your Sims can have a place to sit. Also, they fill space pretty well, so it looks kind of like a little bit of nice decoration. So yeah, and again, my throat, I'm sorry. And yeah, putting in just some more sculptures. That's basically going to be the theme of the rest of this video, is putting in sculptures here and there, some more curtains, and then there's a few more seats around, basically. So putting some seats in all the different galleries here. And yeah, near the end, it became kind of a struggle to find just a good variety of things to fill all the galleries with, because the game is kind of limited. Even building some large houses, I find myself running out of paintings, and then I'm like, I don't want to like repeat the paintings, so it becomes a little bit challenging. But here you can see this is a room with paintings in it. It's like a painting gallery. And then over here we have this one's more Egyptian themed, even though there's some Egyptian stuff from World Adventures and other places in the museum, but this room is dedicated to the Egyptian stuff. And then there's a room here that's dedicated to the Chinese stuff from the World Adventures pack as well. So I just kind of found the items, like the decorative items that came with that pack, and put them in a room, because it has at least has kind of a theme, because there's like a few rooms that are kind of random, like this one, for example. A little random, but it's fine. And yeah, here we have the third floor. Haven't quite gotten to that. Well, actually, haven't even gotten to that point yet. Yeah, so we're going to be doing the third floor next, probably. So yeah, these are some decorative items from, I think, Town Life stuff, and there's a sculpture, and there's another sculpture. Sometimes they kind of had problems with light fixtures on the ceilings because they were too tall. And one of the sculptures on the second floor is actually so tall it goes through the floor a little bit onto the third floor. Yeah, a little whoopsie daisies, but I left it in because it was good enough. It was pretty close, like it's only a tiny little bit sticking up, and I really like the sculpture, so I was like, I'll keep it. Anyway, recoloring some stuff here, kind of made those metal, so it looks like some kind of cool metal work or something. And then some more benches throughout all these galleries up here on the third floor. And you can kind of get a sense of how massive this building is. It is huge. There's so many rooms in this building. It's kind of insane, but I somehow managed to fill all of them, and then I get to do it all again when I use this building as a library too. It's going to be great. Lots of bookshelves. You can get ready for that. But yeah, putting in some more art pieces here. These upstairs galleries, some of them are just like paintings because I ran out of sculptures. There just weren't any more sculptures to put in, so yeah, there's some paintings. And at the end here, I put in some smaller items on pedestals because, there is no more large sculptures, but there is a yellow horse here on display. So your Sims can come here to this art gallery and they can appreciate the yellow horse. It's up here on the third floor. And yeah, it's very exciting. And trying to find good pedestals that actually like fit things, because there's ones from late night that just don't fit things, which is not really convenient. So yeah, there I'm getting in some nice pedestals for these busts down here on the first floor. making that look nice. And then up here on the 3rd floor, putting in these decorative items up there. But anyway, we're actually nearing the end of this episode of Creative Worlds, Plymouth Isle specifically. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, I greatly appreciate it if you go check out some of the other episodes if you haven't already. I also make a bunch of house builds and other things like that on my channel. And if you've liked, commented, or subscribed, I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot, and your support means a lot to me. And there's also some screenshots coming up right after this building portion. I hope you stick around for those as well. But anyway, we're just doing the final touches here, just a few more details, just like painting the underneath black and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.